All right. Hi, everyone. Good morning, good evening, depending on where you're joining from. Excited to talk to you about the future of education, the future of the global economy with artificial intelligence. Obviously, an exciting area that impacts on just so much and so many people. So we have a group that's already joined, but we're just going to wait a moment. Often people join 1 or 2 minutes late, so we're just going to give you a little bit of background information, just to let you know who I am. So my name's Matt, and I'm the president of Ducere Global Business School, and I am actually dialing in from Los Angeles. And one thing that I love, I'm sure just on this call, there's a bunch of people from all sorts of places. One of the things that we love is that we have students, partners all over the world. I was in Berlin a couple of months ago. Just before that, I was in Tanzania and Johannesburg working with students and partners. A week ago, I came back from Latin America. And it's really, really exciting because as a student, you have academic faculty, student support people, colleagues, and other students from literally all areas of the world. And that kind of makes it an exciting program and building great networks and friends from around the world too. So that's kind of nice as an introduction. Um, okay, so I'm just going to bring up a presentation here, and let me just start with that and share my screen, slideshow. Okay, so yell out in the chat if anyone's got any issues hearing or seeing anything, but you should now see a page that says Masters of Business Administration, MBA, in Artificial Intelligence. So if I don't see any comments or anyone jumping up there, I'm assuming you can see that okay, and we'll just get started. All right, so we'll officially kick off the webinar for our inaugural class for the MBA in Artificial Intelligence that starts around the middle of March. So we're really excited to have you on board and hearing about this particular program. We do have the full MBA in Artificial Intelligence, which I'm going to chat about. And also another thing that's exciting is that we have what's called a postgraduate certificate in artificial intelligence, which effectively means that you can break the MBA into 2 easy steps and just do the first part of a postgraduate certificate. If for some reason you're not sure about committing to the whole MBA on day one, you can do the postgraduate certificate and then pathway to finish the MBA. But we're going to start off with the full MBA program. So why even study AI? What is the purpose of AI? What's the value of AI, the relevance? Kind of sounds almost a little bit silly talking about it because I know that everyone hears about this all day, every day. It's starting to come across all areas of technology and computers and even on our phones. But just to highlight, it is a massive growing market projected to exceed $1.5 trillion by the end of this decade, and contribute to the global economy just trillions and trillions of dollars. Those are big numbers, global scale. What does that actually mean to you? According to LinkedIn on a recent jobs report, professionals with AI expertise are in high demand, and very, very strong growth rates for people with skills in AI. So it's certainly a strong area for a promotion within a company, but also for those looking to change companies, change jobs. Having artificial intelligence on your resume is certainly a huge, huge skill. So our vision is to design, this is just for everything we do. We don't do obviously MBAs in AI. We have all sorts of global MBAs and executive MBAs and other things. So if for some reason this wasn't the right fit, of course, talking to your enrollment advisor, they can guide you and help you with other programs too. But our vision for everything we do, bachelor's, MBAs all over the world, is to design and deliver the world's most industry applied degrees that advance careers. That is the absolute heart goal of everything we do. I think it kind of goes without saying. People recognize that having a degree on your resume is going to boost your job prospects and your career prospects. Having that piece of paper is very valuable. However, many people say, yes, I really want that on my resume, but studying a degree can be a little bit of a waste of time. I'm probably going to sit in a lecture room learning from academics out of a textbook on things that maybe they've never even worked in the real world. So it's very, very theoretical. Well, we're going to show you how we win awards and get recognized for being the most practical, applied, career relevant programs that actually help you get a job, get a promotion, get a pay rise. That's ultimately the true reason why students are studying programs like this. And you'll see throughout lots of examples and testimonials of students from all over the world that have done these programs. So again, just some stats, return on doing an MBA in general. This isn't for an AI MBA because it's so new. There aren't really research stats on a AI MBA, but certainly doing an MBA has a enormous impact on your future career trajectory and career earnings. People have many reasons that they want to do an MBA. They want to learn a new skill. It was on their bucket list. You know, some people say, oh, I always wanted to do this for my parents because they always wanted me to get a university degree. Some say the opposite. I really want to do it for my kids. I want to be an example for my kids. There's lots of different reasons, but really the foundation driver should be this is an investment. Yes, you might like the idea of having an MBA, having those letters on your LinkedIn profile, having a beautiful degree on your wall, but ultimately it's about improving your career, revenue, income prospects, and having an actual investment in yourself. You are going to earn an enormous return by investing in yourself through education. So the structure of the MBA, what does it actually cover? I'm just going to go through this at a high level and then dig in a little bit more to the actual program. So it's 6 classes, 6 subjects over 12 months. That's the entire MBA. That is the core structure. And that is the way, I'd say probably 90% of our students will do the MBA, 100% online, 6 classes over 12 months. There is an option to do it over 2 years. So you can study part-time and do it over 2 years. That means you're only doing 3 classes per year for 2 years. So it makes the study load obviously much, much easier. And you're only ever doing 1 class at a time, whether it's part-time or full-time. You do 1 class, finish it, move on to the next one, finish it, move on to the next one. So it works very well within a job environment. But if you're doing it part-time, you're literally doing 1 class every 4 months. And if you're doing it full-time, you're doing 1 class every 2 months. A 2-month class, finish that 2-month class to complete the degree. You can see the classes there, things like AI business application, AI ethics and governance, strategy, marketing, etc. What that basically means, very important to note, this is not a programming computer science course. This is not for an IT professional who wants to look at this to develop code and develop a new tool in AI. That's not what this is about. This is about every single manager in the world understanding how artificial intelligence is going to impact on their business. How can we use AI as a strategy? How can we use AI to create efficiencies? What can we automate through AI? What can we improve in customer service? Because we can automate things and get instant responses to potential customers through AI. So looking at all of the positives, the return on investment, the benefits of AI, as well as the flip side, not all AI is good. There's many examples already of major companies using AI that they then had to cancel because of biases and different issues. There's many examples, such as Amazon, that used an AI tool for all their recruitment screening. Great, easy, efficient, saved a lot of money. They ended up having to scrap that whole process because it was determined that the AI was actually discriminating and biased against both gender and minorities. So, looking at AI, you have to look at the whole picture of what are the advantages, what are the benefits, what's the financial return, and what potential risks are there. So it can be extremely powerful, but if it's looked at and approached in a very thoughtful and deep way. So that's about AI. You'll cover areas of AI from technology, marketing, global expansion, application, strategy, governance, ethics, etc. One of the cool things, you can see this little phone on the side, is that you actually will put your MBA on your LinkedIn profile and resume as soon as you commence in March, not when you complete. Now, obviously, you haven't completed your MBA. You can't say you've completed, but what you'll do is say MBA class of 2026. So people understand when you've got a future date, it means you're graduating in 2026. But the main thing that people will see is that you're doing this amazing international MBA straight away from day one. Whether you finish in 2 months, 6 months, people don't really pay much attention to that. What they mainly see is the headline of artificial intelligence MBA. Wow, that's pretty cool. We have no exams in any of our degrees. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more, and you can access the technology from anywhere, which I'll show you in a moment. But remember, I mentioned a little bit before that our goal and vision is to be the most career applied university in the world, university degrees in the world. Well, that's easier to say, and a lot of institutions say a lot of different things. But what does that actually mean? How are we the most career focused and career applied? Firstly, we have this concept of to be the best, you need to learn from the best. And what that means is you're literally learning from CEOs, billionaires, entrepreneurs, presidents, prime ministers, Nobel Prize winners. You're just learning from literally the most amazing people in the world who are teaching in this program. We built our curriculum with the former head of the CIA, with the commander of the International Space Station. So it's not a textbook academic program that's really disconnected from the real world. It's 100% industry relevant and integrated learning from the most inspiring people in the world. So imagine learning from someone who built a $5 billion company out of Africa, and then in your next class, learning from a Canadian Prime Minister. It's genuinely really exciting and amazing. The second really relevant part to being a career-focused degree is that the assignments are what we call tailored assignments to your company and your career. So this is really key. There's no exams in the degree. Nobody likes doing exams, and exams, by so much research from Harvard and other institutions, is proven to be literally the worst possible way that you can try to educate people, teach people, and remember information. So why do universities do it? Well, they do it for a very different reason. It's cheap and easy to just give everyone a standardized test. But what you really want is personalized, applicable learning. So there's no exams, and all the assignments are tailored to your career. So if we're taking a class like technology innovation in AI, and someone works in an airline, they're doing their assignment on how can we use AI in our airline. Someone else in the class is working at Nike, and they're thinking, what ways can we adopt technologies of AI to improve logistics in Nike, or to improve customer service response times in Nike? So every assignment is tailored and integrated into your job. So it's very visible to your company. You're sending your boss, your management team, reports, finding your recommendations, and almost half of our students through that get a promotion while they're still studying. They haven't even graduated, because the company's like, this is amazing. How are you solving all these incredibly strategic and valuable challenges? And it's doing this through the MBA. So the learning experience is very, very exciting. You actually have a platform that is very intuitive. You can use anywhere, anytime. You have a cohort of students and alumni from everywhere in the world, from Johannesburg to Paris to Sydney, and working in many of the biggest companies in the world that you can see here. So just a little bit on sort of registration and who are Rome Business School and Ducere. Rome Business School, probably would imagine, as the name suggests, is an institution formally based out of Italy. It is formally registered, of course, appropriately in Italy. Ducere is based in California. We are a global higher education institution that designs and delivers world-class industry-relevant degrees. We've been recognised and won awards from Australia, the UK, Africa, US, Congress, state of California. We're very proud of the recognitions and awards from all over the world for really innovating higher education to be more beneficial and practical for students. There's a little bit more on accreditation and memberships, of course. We'll send this after the webinar as a presentation link. So, I'm not going to read through all of the information, might get a little bit dull, but, certainly for the people that want to look at the memberships, the accreditations, the registrations, you can drill into that much more. We touched a little bit on investing in your future. You can do your own research, but there is lots of private industry research, a lot of government research. For example, a US Bureau of Labor Statistics or government research in countries all over the world that will show the average increased earnings by having an MBA, just a general MBA, not to mention a specialized focused on a new emerging industry MBA. And so it's really an investment in your future, as I mentioned. So a couple of technical bits of information. Firstly, the entry criteria. We have two options to enter the program. If you have a bachelor's degree, it's what we would call a traditional entry. That's how pretty much all universities work. If you have a bachelor's degree, you can move on to do our MBA program. We have something as well, though, that is very unique as an entry option. There are many very talented, hardworking, smart, professional, dedicated individuals that never got a chance to go to university. Millions of people that went to university for a year or two and couldn't complete because life got in the way. Maybe they wanted to do a Bill Gates or a Mark Zuckerberg and they had this business idea and they just couldn't wait to finish their degree and wanted to start working their business and dropped out of their degree. Maybe they had to help their family earn some extra income. Someone in the family might have gotten ill. Whatever the reason is, there's many smart, capable people that never got a chance to finish university. In this environment, as long as you have 3 years of professional experience as a supervisor, team leader, manager, 3 years experience in any of those management areas, you can start the MBA straight away. There's no exam, there's no foundation program. You're just relying on your resume, showing that you have real world management experience. The cost of the program is $9,000 US for the developing world. So for the first cohort, starting in March, it's a 50% scholarship. The normal full published fee is $18,000 US, but the total cost for the entire MBA will be $9,000 for developed nations, Canada, US, Australia, New Zealand, UK. If you're in a developed country, it's going to be 9,000 USD, which you can pay up front and get a further discount. You can pay termly, you can pay monthly, you can pay over 1 year, you can pay over 2 years. So we really try to make it as financially accessible and viable as possible. There are some additional loan options and programs as well to make that even a lower cost. So just to confirm, developed countries, Germany, France, UK, etc., $9,000 total, payable over the duration of the course. For developing nations, this is really incredible because we are a social enterprise and we really give back, and we have funded millions of dollars in scholarships and promotions around the world. And so for developing nations, Brazil, Colombia, Vietnam, Africa, any country that's designated under the UN, of which there's many, many countries, as a developing nations, we do a scholarship reducing the cost of the entire degree to $4,000. Again, payable over a year, even payable over 2 years. So we really want to make this an accessible degree, a world-class degree that anyone is capable of doing. And the last element there says graduation, the realization of a dream on the right, is that upon completion of your MBA, you'll actually graduate in person in Rome. Thousands of students on campus, cultural tour, visiting the sites of Rome, experiencing the food, the culture, but of course, meeting friends, colleagues, students, faculty, and having this wonderful experience. People bring their whole family, people bring their husbands or wives. You're wearing a cap and gown, you get called on stage, graduate, that great photo opportunity. So that's all part of the program. And this is a little bit more on the foundation and philanthropy. I mentioned we provide scholarships all over the world. So I'm just going to stop my share there, and I'm going to bring up a course guide and show you another element that just drills in a little bit more to the program itself. But while I'm doing that, please feel free to throw in any questions to the chat on the side, because I'm just going to show you a little bit more on the course guide. But ultimately, this is, for you to ask any questions that you have and for us to assist and answer any questions. Some people don't like to ask questions in the actual webinar where there's lots of students, but don't be shy. You can ask your questions, but otherwise, of course, you can follow up with an enrollment advisor anywhere. And I'm sure you're aware we have enrollment advisors in North America, South America, Australia, Europe, Africa, really all over the world. So you can always go back to your enrollment advisor and ask them a more one-on-one question, but throw in any questions here just while I quickly show. You should see here a document that says Rome Business School at the top, the AI MBA, and it just gives a little bit, again, of reasons why to do the MBA and the return on investment and the benefits. But more specifically, this is about the actual program itself. So this 100% online degree, it'll take you through each of the classes, like AI business strategies and ROI. So what are you actually learning? Key learning outcomes, analyze AI applications across industries and evaluate their impact on business operations, develop strategies for implementing AI solutions. So I'm not going to read it all and bore you with 20 minutes of just reading a document, because you'll have this document, but you can see it goes through. This is your AI business strategies and ROI class. This is your AI ethics and governance class, et cetera, et cetera. So you can go through the whole document there, seeing images, and these are real images of the actual campus. Even though you're studying online, this is where you'll come to graduate, meet students, meet faculty at the campus. So I just wanted to scroll down to the bottom to show you some of the student support team. You have faculty and student support people every step of the way helping you. There's a 1-week orientation and onboarding. There's resources in the platform. There's templates. There's guides for many people who haven't studied before, many people who maybe didn't study for 20 years. Everything is there. How to reference, how to use the platform, how to find the articles you need. And even without those really great, easy to use resources there, you can always call someone in your student support team or your academic. You can always email and say, hey, I just wanted to clarify something. Was I meant to use these 3 references, or did I have to use 4 references? There's no question that's, too silly or that we haven't heard before. As I say, many of our students have never studied a degree before. So if you're thinking about a question, if you're not sure about something, guaranteed someone else is thinking about the same thing. So you can actually go in and play around with the system and see how it works and get access to the system before you start. And then this is what a graduation looks like. Imagine sitting here at the end of this program and celebrating like this, getting called up on stage and having that photo at the end, having what is one of the most exciting programs in the world, with an MBA in AI. This just covers, again, what I mentioned about entry requirement if you have a bachelor's degree, or even if you have no bachelor's, no problem, 3 years management experience. And if you see some references here to much higher fees like $18,000, just remember that is the standard full normal published fee. But for our launch for March, it's a 50% fee reduction scholarship, making the entire degree $9,000. And of course, if you're in a developing nation, the total degree is $4,000. So I'm just going to stop my share there. It looks like we don't have any questions. So if there's no question, just as I'm signing off, but if anyone's got any final questions, just throw it in there as I'm sort of giving you the conclusion there. I just wanted to mention quickly about the application process. Don't feel nervous or worried at all. Speak to an enrollment advisor, and your enrollment advisor will help you through the enrollment application process. Having said that, it's really easy. It takes 15 minutes to apply, and it's free to apply. So really, there's no reason not to apply. You're going to answer a few questions. You're going to upload your resume, upload an identification, and you're done. It's going to take you 15 minutes, and there's absolutely no cost whatsoever. You will then receive a letter of offer, assuming that that's all completed correctly. You'll receive a letter of offer. And then, of course, you can decide at that point, okay, great. Do I really want to do this? Am I committed? And 15 minutes free, online, simple to complete your application. And if anyone is thinking, I really like the idea, I'm just not sure about committing to a whole MBA, remember that you can start in March with just 2 classes, just 2 MBA classes for what's called a postgraduate certificate. You can commit to just a postgraduate certificate. It's much quicker, much cheaper, and it's still the same 2 classes. You'll be joining the MBA cohort, but just doing the first 2 classes, and you can end there and get a postgraduate certificate. But usually what students do is they look at it as a little mini pilot and say, I'm not 100% sure. Most students start straight off with the MBA, but for those that are really just not sure, will I have the time? I'm so busy. Am I really going to get value out of it? You can start with just the 2 classes. And then assuming you're like, wow, this was great. It was so practical. I got so much support. I loved it. It's like, fantastic. Just keep going. Then you'll have the last 4 classes, 8 months to go, and you're going to be graduating on stage with all of your colleagues. So you can break it up into 2 easy steps if you want. Question there from Reen, is the application online? Yes. After this webinar, we'll also send you a link to apply, and it will literally ask you a few questions. You upload a few documents. You'll need a government issued ID, like a driver's license, passport, and answer a few questions, and you'll be done online. And as I say, there's no cost. So we'll send you that very easy link. There's a follow-up question, is what's the price for the 2 class certificate? That's a good question, actually. I'm not sure off the top of my head because we have many different programs, but it usually is around a third because it's a third of the MBA. So it's usually around a third of the cost for other postgraduate certificates. It could be different with the MBA AI, but we'll follow that up and we'll send you the answer to that question. But generally speaking, you're doing a third of the MBA, so you can just pay for that 1/3 and then decide after you've done those 2 classes, I loved it and I want to keep going. Or alternatively, you might just say, no, I was just really happy with the postgraduate certificate in AI. I don't need to do the rest of the classes. You're still going to have a beautiful piece of paper that you frame and put on your wall. So yeah, I would definitely encourage everyone to apply because there really is no downside. There's no cost and it's an easy application. And then you can talk to your enrollment advisor at that point about your personal situation and exactly what you want to do. March 10th is the intake start date. So you do have, time. There's like a month away till that starts. But, people often rush last minute and then they're stressed and anxious because they haven't updated their resume and they're trying to quickly. So I would encourage everyone, just get your application in. It's better to do it quicker and sooner, and just have that peace of mind, know that you've got your application confirmed, and then you'll be ready to start your orientation and tell everyone how excited you are to start a global MBA and that you'll be graduating in Europe in 2026. So I think that's pretty much all the questions. We're right on 30 minutes. We are happy to stay on a few minutes if anyone had any questions, but it looks like either everyone's shy or I just did such a fantastic job at explaining it so clearly that no one had any other questions to ask. But either way, we'd love to see you in the program. We'd love to have you as part of our alumni of thousands and thousands of students that we've enrolled from all over the world and support you in your career journey. So thank you very much for your time, and look forward to hopefully seeing you in the MBA AI class of 2026. Thank you all so much and see you later.